Did you pick me those mushrooms yet?
Sure did.
Well, bless your heart, you did it.
Actually, picking the one growing on the log sticking out of the swamp was a little hairy.
Oh, my. I forgot to warn you about Bernie, didn't I?
If by Bernie you mean the alligator that almost had me for dinner, yeah, you did.
He's another one of Dr. Beaulay's pets. He'd kick that log to get Bernie's attention, then feed him marshmallows. Problem is, now that gator leaps up and snaps every time someone so much as touches that log. I should have said something, but I've gotten so used to Bernie, I just plain forgot. Anyway, feel free to help yourself to that shovel. You earned it.
Nice talking to you.
Take care, hon. Hello again.
I'd better get going.
Fare thee well.
Yes?
Did you know that Bruno was a member of a group called the Jolly Rogers?
No. Should I care?
Maybe not, but I care. They apparently ran around wearing skeleton man costumes.
Don't know anything about it, sorry.
How come your great-uncle's crypt is in the garden and not in the cemetery?
Don't ask me. It's kind of weird. Apparently he built the crypt himself, but he never indicated in his will or anywhere else that that's where he wanted to be buried. I stuck his ashes in there anyway and had the thing inscribed. If that's not what he wanted, too bad.
I'm going to keep looking around.
Whatever.
Come and get it, Iggy.
Yes?
I'm going to keep looking around.
Sounds good.
Hello again.
I think I found the letter that Dr. Bolet was reading when he had his fatal heart attack. Iggy the iguana had taken it. Apparently, Dr. Bolet did have a crystal skull and believed possessing it would make him immortal. So he had it tested, and the lab sent him its findings in this letter. Read the second paragraph.
My analysis showed that the skull, while made of remarkably pure crystal, was carved using modern instruments. In layman's terms, the skull is a fake.
My guess is Dr. Bolet believed in the skull so completely that when he read it was a fake, he was totally devastated, and his heart just stopped. But what I don't quite understand is, why did you tell me you didn't know about the crystal skull when this letter indicates you did?
All right. Dr. Bolet told me about the skull. As you said, he believed with all his might owning that skull was the reason he was still going strong at 95. I lied to you because, well, for one thing, Dr. Bolet swore me to secrecy. And for another, he kept the skull hidden. And up until just this minute, I wanted to be the one who found it.
What made Dr. Bolet decide to have the skull authenticated?
Getting the skull tested was my idea. When Dr. Bolet told me about it, I was skeptical and that troubled him. So I helped him find a private laboratory where we could take it so any and all doubts would be dispelled once and for all. I certainly did not anticipate that the truth would result in his keeling over and dying like that. Well, now that I too know that the skull's a fake, I can stop fretting over its whereabouts. In fact, I should probably thank you and Iggy for setting me straight.
I'd better get going.
Come see me any time.
Is this Milo Research and Technology?
This is Chaz, Milo. Service forwarded your call to my cell. What do you want?
Are you all right?
I'm at the gym. On the treadmill. It's called multitasking.
Well, about the letter you sent to Dr. Bolet, you know, where you told him the skull was a fake, I was just wondering...
I never told him that.
Never told him what?
I told him that skull was authentic.
No, you said in the letter the skull was carved using modern instruments.
I said all the tests I ran proved the skull had been hand-carved and hand-polished. Probably took decades to make.
But the letter Dr. Bolet got said just the opposite.
Then the letter he got must not have been the letter that I wrote.
Are you saying the crystal skull is real?
Hey, I'm not saying it's magic or anything. I'm just saying it wasn't made using 19th century, 20th century, or 21st century technology.
Did you carbon date it to see how old it was?
The thing was pure quartz. No carbon in quartz. No carbon, no carbon dating. Hey, look, I'm gonna hang up now. If I try to talk anymore, I'm gonna pass out.
Just one more question. Did you send that letter saying the skull was authentic to anyone else?
No, just Dr. Bolet. I heard he died recently. Good thing I billed him up front.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your help.
No problem.
Hello again.
I'll see you later.
Fare thee well.
Yes?
I'll stop bugging you now.
Groovy.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
That's funny.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Sneeze, lady. What's going on?
Maybe I'll have another look around in here.
Enjoy.
Hello?
What's up?
Not much.
What about you?
Ditto.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Iggy, how about a nice, juicy loquat?
Hello, Nancy?
Hey, Ned.
It's about time you called. Did you make it to New Orleans okay?
Yep.
Have you seen Henry?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure I like the way you said that. Is he okay?
He's fine. Well, he's the executor of his great-uncle Bruno's estate, which he's not real happy about, and he's having problems with his girlfriend, but he and his great-uncle weren't that close, so he's not grief-stricken or anything.
Well then, are you okay?
Other than being attacked on my way into Henry's house by a skeleton wearing a red ascot and getting knocked out by the smoke bomb he threw at me, I'm fine too.
What?
Let's just say that I've stumbled onto a mystery, and I'm not leaving till I solve it.
Why am I not surprised? Is Bess with you?
No, but she has been helping me.
So tell me about this skeleton man.
Well, it was someone in a costume, obviously. He or she was leaning over something in the great room when I walked in and surprised them.
So they threw a smoke bomb at you and ran?
Yeah, I must have interrupted whatever they were doing.
What were they leaning over?
A scale model of the cemetery next door. Henry says his great-uncle Bruno made it so he could keep track of who was buried there. Apparently, Bruno used to oversee the cemetery. And right near the scale model, I found a tracing of some kind of symbol. I'm thinking maybe Skeleton Man dropped it.
Why would Skeleton Man be interested in the scale model of a cemetery?
Good question. Maybe I'll take a real good look around in there and see if I can find out.
Good idea.
I'm still trying to figure out how you got to be friends with Henry.
Well, we're not best friends or anything. Heck, we're not really even friends. I just feel sorry for the guy. I mean, he never hangs out with anyone between classes, and when I'd heard there'd been a death in the family, I just wanted to make sure he was okay all by himself down there.
Don't worry, he's fine. Although I think he misses his parents a lot. I saw him out in the cemetery by what I think is their crypt. He seemed pretty upset.
I'm not surprised. I get the feeling that what Henry looks like on the outside is just the opposite of what he looks like on the inside.
You know, you're a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, I know.
Bruno Bolet's housekeeper, Renee, is still here, despite the fact that she and Henry don't really get along that well.
Why do you think she's staying on?
She says it's because Bruno paid her in advance.
But you don't believe her.
10% of Bruno's estate is supposed to go to her. Only Henry's been selling off Bruno's assets on the sly, and somehow Renee found out. I think she's staying on so she can try to bust him.
Why is Henry selling off assets? I thought he was pretty much the sole heir.
3 words. High-maintenance girlfriend.
So this Renee person isn't just being paranoid.
What this Renee person is freaky.
In what way?
She wanted me to drink some strange-looking concoction after I passed out from the smoke bomb, but she refused to tell me what was in it. And she wears this weird little pouch around her neck. Says what's inside it connects her to the energy that powers the universe.
She's probably harmless, but stay on her good side, just in case.
Are you familiar with the legend of the so-called crystal skulls?
Is that where aliens supposedly scattered a bunch of perfectly formed crystal skulls all around the world like thousands of years ago? And all the skulls have different magical powers?
Something like that, yeah. Apparently Henry's uncle was the proud owner of the Whisperer, the skull that was supposed to make whoever owned it live forever.
Only now he's dead and another superstition bites the dust.
Maybe, maybe not. See, this book I found in Bruno's library said no one who has owned the Whisperer has ever died of natural causes.
So how did they die?
They were all murdered.
Come on, you don't believe that crystal skull stuff is true, do you?
I'm not sure what I believe yet. But right now, what I think doesn't matter. The people who knew Bruno had the skull, if one of them believed in the Whisperer's power, they may have figured the only way they'd ever be rid of Bruno was to cause his death.
But didn't he die of a stroke or something?
Heart attack.
Well, there you go. Natural causes.
Heart attacks can be induced.
You've been watching too many of those forensic detective shows.
That may be, but what's really interesting is the skull is missing.
That is interesting.
And I'll bet you anything that's what my bony friend in the red ascot was looking for.
Does Henry know where the skull is?
He doesn't know anything about it. At least that's what he says. But if that skull is still around here, I intend to find it.
I kind of figured that.
Did I tell you that Henry confessed to selling off some of Bruno's things because he needed money to keep his girlfriend Summer happy?
You mentioned that he had a high-maintenance girlfriend.
Trying to keep up with all her crazy demands is making him nuts. You're so lucky.
Hey, don't I know it. Think he sold off the crystal skull?
I don't think so, no. He acts like he's never heard of the crystal skull.
And so the search goes on.
Bruno Bolet's doctor, Gilbert Buford, was apparently Bruno's best friend as well.
Think Bruno told him about the skull?
Yes, in fact, Dr. Buford told Bess that Bruno showed it to him once. But apparently he told Bruno the skull was bogus, and Bruno got a little ticked off. Never showed it to him again.
Well, when